Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod and our 26th episode of Lightspeed, bringing you Star Wars news and headlines in under 15 minutes. And with only 15 minutes to go, let's dive right in. It's been a little while since we had a Lightspeed, if you don't count the last 4 Lightspeeds, which were technically Star Wars Celebration recaps. So those aside, welcome back to our 26th episode of Lightspeed. Right off the bat, we're gonna knock the ball out of the park with a little mention to a new video game on the streets hitting the market next year called Star Wars Outlaws. Let's take a listen.
These are dangerous times. At least that's what I hear. The Empire? They're everywhere. But the world here belongs to the syndicates. If I want to survive, I have to play their game. Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
There she is.
I've been held back my whole life. And now, I just need a chance to finally be free. Wherever that takes me.
I'm here to offer you a way out, okay?
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance. You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
The underworld shows no mercy. But it's a big galaxy out there, and I'm gonna risk it all.
Star Wars Outlaws, coming 2024.
All right, Star Wars Outlaws is hitting next year on, I think, PC and next-gen consoles naturally. And it is, of course, done by Ubisoft. Game publisher also known for doing a lot of famous things, including Assassin's Creed. So, yeah, lots to look forward to there. Experience the first ever open-world Star Wars game set between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore distinct planets across the galaxy, both iconic and new. Risk it all as Kay Vess, an emerging scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life, along with her companion Nyx. Fight, steal, and outwit your way through the galaxy's crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. So, that was it. Premiere for this trailer came out on June 11th, not that long ago. And much like the Jedi series, where you play as Cal Kestis, this game will force you to play as the character Kay Vess, who is a scoundrel in the first ever open world Star Wars game. So a lot of people are very stoked for that. I know I am. And we'll have lots to talk about next year, of course, when that game rolls around. That being said, we have opened up a new thread in our Discord server. So if you have any questions or you want to just chat about the game, feel free to join our Discord in the link in the description of this podcast episode, as it is every week. And, just pop in there, say hello. And, that's where we like to chat Star Wars. And it's pretty quiet. So, feel free to just kind of post what you like. And I do my best to try and respond to just about everyone who perks up in there. So feel free to join up and check the threads. We got this really cool section where you can chat by the era. So naturally, you'll find the Star Wars Outlaws game discussion in the correct time placement of where it takes place. So you'll understand as soon as you join up. That's the catch. Rebels Talk is slightly delayed. Thank you to all of you guys who have been excited for and tuning in. I know even one of you guys who popped in the Discord server actually let us know that Rebels Talk episode 2 came up on the YouTube feed or something. And that's how you discovered the show. So we always love hearing from our listeners, and the best way to do that is to reach us to us on our Discord server. But you can also follow us on our social media platforms at SWScape Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and naturally our email, swscapepodcast@gmail.com. So let us know, how did you find Star Wars Escape Pod? Where'd you discover us? What is your favorite app to use to listen to the podcast? Because we like to know that too. And for all those Rebels Talk fans, we are continuously working at putting out more episodes. It just might be a little while between clusters, and we have a plan to get a few more of them out this month, or record this month so we can get them out between this month and next month. But yeah, we got about 2 more on the way, and that'll cap off season 1 of Star Wars Rebels, and then we'll hit season 2 as soon as we can, probably kind of mid-late July, or possibly in August, and then it's going to be a mad rush to get season 3 and 4 out as well, in time for Ahsoka. So we'll figure something out. There might be some overlap with Ahsoka, but the end goal is to hopefully have everything done by the premiere of Ahsoka in August. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny had a red carpet premiere last week in LA. Steven Spielberg was there to introduce to the stage the one and only John Williams, who orchestrated the full theme song before the film premiered, who, ironically enough, is also comprising the score for the 5th and final time. And, everyone's looking forward to that. It'll also be Harrison Ford's final outing as the character Indiana Jones. And hopefully that means the last in the series. Not that I want to see the series die or anything like that, but I think we would all be a little bummed if all of a sudden they just recast the character of Indiana Jones. I know a lot of people don't want that. So, but hey, if you feel differently, let us know. We do have a thread for that as well in our Discord server. Jedi Survivor, of course, didn't come out that long ago, so our eyes are not fully on Star Wars Outlaws yet. We do have a recording lined up to do a full-scale Jedi Survivor review, so you're not missing anything. If you've been scrolling our feed to see if we missed it, or see if you missed the episode, you haven't missed it yet. We do plan to have a roundtable discussion for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and that is actually coming out tomorrow. Well, it's being recorded tomorrow. So our schedule is a little mixed up compared to the usual drops on Monday and Tuesday, but this week is a bit of an anomaly, and just worked out schedule-wise to get as many people on the podcast as possible to get all those very different perspectives and different views on the game, as we are all having played on various different platforms. So it's always interesting to kind of hear those different opinions, whether you played on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. We got a bunch of people coming to the table who've all had various different experiences playing the game. So, if you're looking to hear any kind of full spoiler review, that is happening tomorrow, and it's being dropped on the podcast as soon as we can get it out. So, if you want to hear a spoiler-free initial impression review, we did have one come out not that long ago, and you can find it by scrolling back to one of our previous, most recent Star Wars podcast episode. Not that long ago. I think it was published out on June 11th, only a week and a half ago or something like that. So definitely look for that if you want the spoiler-free opinion. You can also do the full spoiler when that drops out tomorrow. Ahsoka was recently the subject of Entertainment Weekly's more recent issue with an article that was called "Ahsoka is a Wanderer" at the start of her series, says Dave Filoni. She walks a path that died out a long time ago, with exclusive images, and it's worth a read, so I'm going to link that in the description as well, because we don't have time to read the full article here, but it's a couple paragraphs long, and it's definitely worth checking out if you have a moment to do so. If you are interested in seeing Hayden Christensen and Diego Luna talk to each other, you can watch the latest episode of Actors on Actors on YouTube, where they talk about each other, Star Wars experiences and their acting careers. And it was just very cool to see Hayden Christensen do any kind of press-related thing at all, because he doesn't normally do that. So it was very cool to see that. And, I think it's about 30 minutes long. So definitely go check that out on YouTube as well. I will also link that in the description just for you guys. In August, Marvel will release a new miniseries by Mark Guggenheim, Salva Espin, and David Messina, entitled Star Wars Dark Droids, D-Squad. The D-Squad was first introduced in the animated series Star Wars The Clone Wars as an all-droid team tasked with performing a secret mission. Now on this limited series, it will reunite R2-D2, WAC-47 from the original D-Squad, and form a new team of members including IG-88, Forloom, BT-1, and 000. So this is going to be very interesting, as it's a D-Squad that we've never seen before, with the likes of a bit more of anti-hero and villain droids included in the mix. So you can look forward to that if you're into the Star Wars Marvel comics, releasing in August. July 18th this year, we will have the drop of the next big Del Rey, or I should say Random House Worlds Star Wars book. Those are the staple Star Wars books that all come out. The most recent one that we actually talked about was the Jedi Battle Scars novel that interludes between the first and the second game in the Jedi Survivor series. But this one is called Inquisitor, Rise of the Red Blade, and will likely be focusing in on kind of the origin story of the Inquisitorius, and specifically two Inquisitors who have made appearances in the Darth Vader comic book series but never really showed up anywhere else. So I think it's kind of more of a drawn out story for them, for those characters. And if anyone's interested in the Inquisitors at all, or even reading up on kind of a further story about maybe how they came to be Inquisitors, kind of what that process was like for some of the people in the Inquisitorius. Of course, the character like Reva has her own story of how she became an Inquisitor, and so does the Grand Inquisitor, and so on and so forth. So this novel is kind of going to shed some light on the subject a little bit more, with two of the Inquisitors and perhaps surrounding events. So that'll come out July 18th, in about a month. And finally, Jedi Battle Scars Sam Maggs. We recently, of course, like I mentioned, did a novel review on that. And, if you're not interested in reading the book yourself, you can listen to the review that we put out. And we definitely have a point in the episode, in the podcast episode, where we give the spoiler warning. So you can, if you don't want to spoil yourself, you can listen up until you hear that spoiler bell. And we got it timed just right, so you can bail as soon as you hear the bells. Also, more recently on the show, we did a review for Star Wars Visions Volume 2, which has been, I think a little overlooked. It's been surrounded by so many other things on just Disney Plus in general, and other Star Wars content coming out, and new video games and this and that. Make sure you go check out Star Wars Visions Volume 2 if you're an anime fan. This season will give a global cultural take on Star Wars, with animation studios from around the world creating what they believe Star Wars animation looks like in their own way, and kind of just taking Star Wars as IP, using it as they like, with no limitations at all. And some of them have really knocked it out of the park. Finally, you can catch Young Jedi Adventures in its full season with your younglings at home on Disney Plus. And that is a great Star Wars show for younger kids, pretty much infants, babies. I mean, there is literally, this show is designed for your youngest of the youngest. So if you don't know how to introduce Star Wars to them, technically, chronologically, this does happen before any of the films take place. So you're in pretty good territory with that. And finally, I guess that is the last piece of news we got. So stay tuned on the podcast. Make sure you follow us at those social handles. And as always, we will catch you in the next episode of Star Wars Escape Pod, or the next episode of Lightspeed right here. May the Force be with you.